Guys, what's up? It's story time. So, I have been watching these story time videos for a good minute. Well, for a good hot minute. Anyway, so I am currently just sitting here by myself, not minding my. That's not what I meant to say. Minding my own business. So, anyway, I noticed that. Do you guys hear that? Okay, I have these. First of all, I have these kids at my apartment that like to destroy things, so I open my blinds so I can make sure that they're not gonna like tear up my stuff. But didn't hear that. It was like somebody. It sounds like somebody's on the roof with a hammer. I don't know. Whatever. So anyway, so this story time is about the time that it's another ghost story time. So this is my scariest story besides the lady in the back seat of my car, which, update, I've not seen her in a hot minute. I hope I don't see her again because she really scared me. So, I haven't seen her at all, but this is another story about my mom's house. So before we moved out, it was a few months before she moved states. So my mom, my husband, and myself were living in my childhood home, which is my mother's house. And it had been, we had had dinner. My husband had come from home from work, and we were just hanging out. It was bedtime. And I have a thing, I am deathly afraid of what is inside the dark, not necessarily what's, the dark itself. I'm scared of the things that possibly could be hiding in the dark. So I always would leave our TV on the lowest volume setting just for the light. That's driving me crazy. Can you guys hear that? I don't know, maybe I am crazy. Whatever. So, anyway. So, I mean, it wasn't a thing where, some people say that ghosts typically come to you in the time of depression or anger, when you're not feeling your happiest self. So, I am not fighting with Andy. We were having a good life. We didn't have bills, coming out. We had extra money. No big deal. So, it wasn't like we were fighting or anything. Well, we had gone to bed, and I had turned the TV on. And he had fallen asleep early. And I was watching some Disney movie because I love Disney. Dock me if you will, but I don't care. So I think I was watching Mulan or something like that. Well, our TV was not the TVs that we have now, the plasma flat screen stuff. It was an older box TV. It was one of those like big screen box TVs that they came out with, like, I don't know, in the 90s or something. So I brought it home from my grandmother's house. We'd had it in storage for a really long time. She got a new TV, so we took her old one. Well, this TV started to go out. I think my dog had chewed the cord or something, and so sometimes it would just go off. But not all the time. Like, it was a rare occasion when it would go off. I had it completely fixed. No big deal. It was working just fine. So I had been like a couple months after Buster had chewed through. Well, not he chewed through all the way to the cord, but it had some chew marks on it. So my first initial thought when the TV just went off by itself and I was in the complete darkness, I start freaking out. I'm like, wait, turn the TV on. Was the first initial thought was not Oh, it's a ghost. My first initial thought was, oh, well, maybe Buster chewed through one of the cords or something, and it's just not making a good connection. So I got the remote. I turned the TV back on. I get my Netflix already. Everything's fine. And then a few seconds later go by, and anytime that I have a spirit around me, I always feel it. I I always feel like there's something around me or watching me. So it's not like it's not a big thing. And it happens all the time. It's not a big deal. So I was like, oh my god, I'm in the dark. Okay, well, you get the TV to turn back on. Andy actually turned the TV back on because he had the remote on his side of the bed. And he's like, go back to sleep. Everything's fine. It's just the TV. Leave it alone. Well, I get my movie back on. I continue watching it. And the TV miraculously just goes off again. Excuse me. And this time, when the TV light went off and I was in a dark room, I could see a man standing at the end of my bed, and he had a mustache and almost like a goatee type thing going on, and he was in like 1920s gangster era, like the suit, the fedora hat. He had he had his handkerchief on that was coming out of his pocket, and I mean the whole nine yards. I mean, he looked like somebody just stepped out of 1925. Like, I'm not even kidding. And I get really like freaked out. Like, I have goosebumps right now because it's just freaks me out to talk about it. But I haven't really told a lot of people this, so so he's standing at the end of my bed, and I'm staring at him, and he's staring at me, and he does not look happy by any means. I am one that I do not want to embrace this gift that has been bestowed upon me quite yet. I am not brave enough to reach out and be like, hey, Mr. Ghost, you okay? Like, nope. I'm like, no. If I move or if I say something, I'm afraid that it's going to be like, I've seen that movie before type of thing. And shame on you, Hollywood, for doing that to me, because I'm scared out of my mind. So I don't say anything. I pretend like he's not there. And this whole time, he's just staring at me, and I'm just laying in my bed under the blankets, trying not to stare at him. And I finally get the courage to roll over and nudge my husband, and I'm like, honey, there is somebody in the corner. And he wakes up, and he looks over there, he's like, honey, I don't see anybody. I'm like, I need you to turn the TV back on. I need the light. So he hurries up and he turns it back on. And by this point, this is 3 times I've asked him to turn on the TV because I can see this man in the corner, well, in the dark. And I'm like, he's getting annoyed. And he just hands me the remote because he's like, man, I gotta work in the morning. I don't have time for this. I don't know what's going on, but I don't see anybody, so obviously there's nobody there. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, how do you not see this old man on the end of the bed? Like, he's like 6 foot tall, man. You can't miss him. So he's like, he's getting annoyed, and I'm scared. I start crying. I mean, I'm bawling. So I'm like, okay, well, this is life. So I get the TV turned back on. I stop crying because I can't see him anymore. And I'm like, okay, maybe he's gone. Still, maybe it was my imagination running wild because, yeah, that happens sometimes. So I try to go back to sleep. And I wake up. And it's probably been like 5 minutes of me just like kind of, I wasn't completely asleep, but I was in that stage where, you kind of doze off and you're like, okay, I'm almost asleep. If I just stay here like this for just a minute, everything will be fine. Well, then I hear the hum. The TV was humming. Like there wasn't. I didn't turn Netflix on. I just had the blue screen from where you can go between VHS and Blu-ray and DVD player and Netflix and all that. So it was just a blue screen. It was literally nothing was connected to it. It was just a blue screen. And I can hear the TV humming. And there's on box TV. There's the distinct like sound that your TV makes when you shut it off, and it makes like a high pitched noise. And people that use box TVs, like where I'm at, what I'm talking about. So, this noise, I hear it, and I'm like, instantly, like, eyes are open, and I'm like, oh, hell no. And I sit up in bed, and I look, and this man is, again, staring at me. And I'm staring at him. And he's just looking at me like, not that he wants anything. And I didn't feel like he wanted to hurt me, but he did scare me. And I still didn't say anything. I woke up Andy crying, and Andy's got me in like a bear hug, and he's like, just don't look at it. Just don't look at it. Obviously the TV's not going to stay on. And I'm like, just turn on the lights. And I mean, frantic, bawling. My mother wakes up. Actually, no, she didn't wake up yet, but she's like, you could hear her rustling in the other room, and I'm like, oh my God, like, this could not, I just want to go to sleep. I just want to go to sleep. Like, there's no way that I need to, like, be up messing around with no ghosts tonight. Like, the shop closed. Like, there needs to be a cutoff time on when these show up, because I need my rest. So, and they always seem to come to me in the middle of the night. Like, you can't come to me in the middle of the day. Like, apparently they're all nocturnal. So anyway, so this man is staring at me, and I decided to turn on my side, and I've got my face in my husband's chest, right underneath his face, and I'm crying, and he is trying to console me, and it would be kind of hard to console somebody if you can't see anything. So I get his frustration. He's like, it's okay, honey. He's trying to console somebody that he can't relate to. Like, he's like, this bitch is nuts. Like, there's nobody over there. You're freaking me out. Just go to sleep, man. So he, like, is consoling me and whatnot. I live in an apartment, and I sometimes forget that I live in an apartment. So when I hear a door close, I'm like, ooh, somebody's here. But there's nobody here. So I get the courage. It's been about probably 10 minutes of me just crying because I'm so scared. And I got the courage out of somewhere to look up above me. And now mind me that the end of my bed is, the ghost is directly in front of my bed. Or it had been. And I turn, and I have my closet. That would be, what would be directly in front of me in my vision would be, of course, my husband. And then I have a whole open room and my closet. Well, I look up, and just kind of look up into the darkness, and this man is literally this close to my face. I let out this scream, and I wish I wouldn't have. I'm like, well, if he didn't know I could see him then, he does now. So, I don't know. I let out the biggest scream. My mother wakes up, and she comes running into my room thinking my husband's probably murdering me or something. And I'm like, just turn on the light. So my mom flips on the light, and she's like, what is going on in here? And, I didn't want to tell her right then and there. I was like, I think I just had, I told her that I just had a bad dream. And Andy's like, I don't know. But my husband, being the man he is, let me sleep with the light on for a few nights until I kind of got my gumption back and be like, no ghosts tonight. I only saw him once, that one night. It's the only time I saw him. I never said, what do you want? What are you doing here? Go in the light. None of that. I was way too scared. I don't know why these people come to me or what they need, but, so that's the story. Like, I saw a 20s era gangster in my room. I don't know. Like, I've seen my grandpa and I've seen my grandma on my dad's side who has been said that they died on the outside of the house. I've seen them on the outside of the house from when I was young, growing up. I've had multiple encounters with grandma and grandpa. They don't scare me. Like, they are just, living their life together through eternity. So they don't bother me. But I've seen this man once, and I'm so scared to sleep at my mom's house now. Well, it's now my brother and my sister-in-law's house. But I'm so scared to sleep over there. And sometimes I'm scared to even just, like, be in the house because, like, alone, because I will see things. And I know I'm not crazy. I have a pretty good head on my shoulders. Like, I just want to know, like, what y'all's input is, like, why I keep seeing these people. And if you enjoy this, please let me know. Holler at me on Snapchat or comment, subscribe to my page. And if you like these story times, give me a thumbs up, and I will keep doing them. Have a splendid day.